Hello, tutor. Today I am going to explain my final thoughts about my proposal evaluation. My name is Victoria Nagles. Okay, let's start with my contextualization. English learning population, okay? This group is students who belong to a sheltered interest in learning English but receiving 2 hours of English every day. Clearly need that the formal education should offer quality and inclusive pedagogical experience. This shelter has 16 students aged between 11 and to 16 years. For the correct application of indigenous studies integration from different elementary and secondary grades, teachers need to be capable to adapt methodologies and make it those more inclusive, where the curriculum allows producing a proper relationship between the formal pedagogical process and the educational quality they need, as well as the correct didactic material or resource to be applied, where their identities are taken into account. Baupés is located in the southwest of Colombia. This region with ethnic and cultural diversity, and it has indigenous people living in extensive land. This region also has a large student population at all levels of education, where approximately 50% of students are indigenous, mostly practicing their native language because for them are essential to preserve and respect their native language. Okay, let us start from the fact that respect for language is necessary. Therefore, recognizing and respecting language as an important element of communication. Consequently, learning English would then enter into the relationship between culture, language, and communication. English for indigenous communities is important because in their learning process, it allows openness to knowledge, development of communicative and cognitive skill, and in general, it opens horizon allowing to potential culture exchange, improvement of international relations, advance in technology, health, education, economy, and is so important because language in a more meaningful way through an cultural education had to be implemented into the classroom. Nowadays, a teacher cannot integrate those students with linguistic culture differences in the educational environment because most universities in Latin America and Colombia had continually adopted conventional educational model and perspective that not incorporate intercultural approach and programs that aims to the promotion cultural diversity and intercultural dialogue in their institutions. As a result, the depth of knowledge, learning style, language, worldviews, and histories of indigenous and Afro continue to be excluded from higher education. This is about CEPAL. Finally, education in Colombia, under the pressure of globalization and internationalization, prioritizes efforts toward responding to international demands, making it even more problems to focus on satisfying the needs of the culturally diversity student population they attend. Okay. How can teachers motivate indigenous students to learn English? How do we evaluate the use of a foreign language and what would be the most accurate pedagogical strategies to effectively evaluate the communicative competence of the foreign language. Fundamental to this approach is context, culture, and pedagogy, emphasizing motivation for learning English in a multicultural environment supported by different ludic and didactic strategies that teachers need in their daily practice. It is so essential to recognize that a great part of the context where this pedagogical purpose is developed is traced by an own identity, culture as a human heritage, as a collective memory of a people, preserve it and protect it. Okay? Objectives to integrate indigenous studying into the bilingualism program at the school where they would acquire speaking, listening, reading, and writing skill, where the teacher will stimulate and respect the cultural identity of the student by providing everyone with a quality education that is appropriate and adapted to their culture. Second, to inquire about the development of inclusion, bilingual education, and multicultural production, and how interaction and the technology-based approach could contribute to improve the quality and development of indigenous students' productive and receptive skills. Three, to analyze learning indigenous problems and reflect on pedagogical practice as an ongoing process where teachers can redesign and rethink on how a teacher can improve their pedagogical practice in each cycle, letting them reflect on student needs and at the same time be aware of the main change needed in the pedagogical practice. Proposal. This evaluation proposal is based on the recognition of intercultural education. The concepts of culture and education are closely interrelated in their essence. Culture forget the context, the way of functioning, and the context of education because it shapes our way of thinking and behaving, our belief and our feeling. Language is one of the most universal and diverse forms of expression of human culture and perhaps the most essential. For indigenous people, it constitutes their identity, memory, and transmission of knowledge. Therefore, the curriculum must respond to specific education needs of indigenous students by including appropriate and effective methodologies based on the cultural perspective and orientation, okay, of the learners, while at the same time providing for the acquisition for meaningful knowledge and skill that prepare them to practice fully in society at large. I propose an authentic and affirmative evaluation that allows equity and equality. The evaluation more than summative should be focused on be formative because it has a great potential to raise the standard of education. The feedback that the students receive from their teacher and other community members improve their motivation and self-esteem. Besides, in the process, students develop their capacity for co-evaluation and self-evaluation. Authentic and formative assessment is proposed where all students are supported in making academic progress by constant and personal feedback they receive for their teacher. This proposal varies with the application of standardized tests uh, because I think that it contradicts the value of diversity. Applying technology-based approach is also essential to encourage students to learn. Proposal evaluation is breaking the standards. Proposal, okay? Teachers should learn and apply didactic strategies that promote the active participation of students in their learning process. Playful, didactic, and pedagogical strategies using interactive platforms that promote the active practice of oral and writing language in a bilingual context. Second, taking into account the immersion modality, the teacher used the wall to fill in. We illustrate alphabet, word bank, lively illustration, graphic organizers, model tests, and other visual aids created by teachers and students. And teachers can use technology to support their class by projecting picture videos and simulation. Third, use keyword from the topic being taught accompanied by a picture and also share with them the expected learning or achievement of studying. This way, studying understand what is expected of them and how tool to acquire new learning. The language used in the environment should be differentiated by session, placing on different while the visual supports in the indigenous language. 4. The possibilities of access to quality learning environment for all must be provided, where students are allowed to enter the English practice laboratory at any time to practice their productive and receptive skills. 5. I propose, for example, a bilingual show. It propose it because it's to activate the oral participation of studying in all language of instruction through some related to the topic of study for vocabulary practice, to reading practice, and application of body gestures. Peer-to-peer discussion is a good key to creating a learning environment where students had opportunities to practice academic language. Co-evaluation and self-evaluation through this strategy, student comments on something they liked or learned during the session. Students develop their oral skills. Also, the teacher proposed a brief reading where each student shares his or her appreciation and practice reading comprehension. For example, where the teacher can ask questions such as what is the main idea of the test, what are some supporting ideas, give the student give example, what is a new word you learn, or what does it mean, what connection can you make between this test and your life. The final expo. The dynamic of expo is a good practice in evaluation. At the end of each semester, teachers and students invite parents and other community members to publish pursuit of the study new learning in the two target language. The spot is a form of community assembly by allows community members to learn about the world and provide feedback to students and teachers. It is a valuable space between teacher and students, parents, and other community actors. A student learns to speak in public, showing their new skill and knowledge to listening to others. Okay, conclusion of this proposal evaluation. Ensure teaching methods in indigenous communities are based on learning by doing with limited adult intervention and using mistakes as a learning opportunities and applying technology-based approach. Therefore, educational projects must be strategic towards the achievement and strengthening of all grammatical, discursive, and sociolinguistic skills, addressing listening, speaking, writing, and reading comprehension skills is done through the adaptation of learning strategies. Therefore, a space must be open for students to interact without any fear with their peers, teacher, or others. Finally, I believe that the teaching of a foreign language in a multicultural context should not contribute to the removal of cultural roots if the experience has been into a classroom where certain ethnic groups converging, indigenous, Afro, and other minorities, the attitude should be one of the respect and value the culture immersed in the classroom. Uh, Respect the diversity, respect the multicultural context. I think that is the essential task of education. This is my references. Okay, thank you.